Listen up, nerds and nerdettes and wee little nerdlings all. It's your buddy Big Johnny G, the Two Gun Pixie presents Legendary Gaming.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining me Tuesday for another Tabletop Takeout. Now, one of my favorite genres, themes, skins, to put on a board game is mythology. I've always loved mythology. It's one of the first paths I ever took to my nerddom. You know what I mean? There are quite a few games that revolve around the theme, the stories of mythology. There are even a few that cover my Irish heritage. And this game I want to talk to you about today, this is one of them. This is a game called Celtica. And if you'd like to join me down at the table, I'd love to tell you why I love Celtica. Well, right off the bat, I want to say that mythology has always been one of my favorite topics. Really, as long as I can remember. So to see that there's another Irish mythology game, something I think that we're lacking of, for mythology in general, but specifically Irish legends. So when I found Celtica, I was very excited to try this game. Now, I've gotten a chance to play it a few times, and I'm glad I got it. I'm glad I have it as part of my collection. I'm glad it's right back there with the mythology games. Actually, it's not on the shelf right now. I have it over here. But it is a really fun game, and I'm glad I have it. It fits into a few categories that I'm happy about. One of the things I enjoyed about this game is that it's an easy enough game, a light enough game that even casual tabletoppers should be able to enjoy this game. My wife's not the greatest fan of tabletop games, especially compared to me, but she found this game easy and enjoyable. And I always think that's a plus when someone that's not quite as game crazy as me will both enjoy a game and be able to pick up the rules first run through. Now, although this is a fairly light game, don't be fooled. There is a bit of strategy in this game, which is another reason why I enjoyed it to the point where I want to talk about it. You're not moving any one druid meeple. There's a bunch of different ones that you're able to move, and they collectively get moved during the course of the game with all the players. So using the strategy of figuring out which cards to move which druids at which time, while at the same time you're trying to figure out, if the other players are going to be moving this particular druid, let's say the green one, and you're going to need him later. Now, the other bit of strategy comes in with the Vikings. Oh yes, you can't have a game set in ancient Ireland or England or that part of the world and not have some reference to Vikings. Now, they're found all throughout the board, looting monasteries, towns, looting places, doing what Vikings did when they came over to the British Isles. And you have to deal with them, and you need to plan ahead. You need to be able to manage your hand of magical talisman pieces that you're trying to reassemble. There are way more pieces than you need, and one of the reasons for this is the Vikings, because they're going to steal them from you. You're going to have to give them up in tribute just to survive. And that adds a sort of take that, but not a player versus player. It's the game versus player in a sense. And it's really going to make you think about managing those damn pieces. Now, I've had fun playing this game with 2 players, but it really does shine when you get to 3 or 4. And I also found that the way that the druid meeples are moved during the course of the game, that even when you have 4 players instead of 2, it's not going to add on a hell of a lot of more time. It does a good job of managing the time in a sense, without it going out of its way to rule a management of time, you know what I mean? It's just the way it's set up. It does make a 4-player game not quite as long as you would expect the jump from a 2 to 4-player game, and I enjoyed that. I also really enjoyed looking at the artwork in this game. The map is beautifully drawn. The cards are fantastic. Made me think of tarot cards, actually, some of the druids. And I really enjoyed looking at it, and I found myself lost in a few of the drawings. And I think that's a great sign, because art does help pull you into a game, doesn't it? Overall, what can I say? I had a hell of a lot of fun playing this game. My wife's had a lot of fun playing this game. I've shown this game off, and it's been enjoyed. So I really wanted to talk about it here. And also, coincidentally, if you are looking for a game to play around the Irish holidays, around St. Paddy's Day, Celtica is a pretty good choice. It's not going to take you too long, and it's easy to learn. Well, that's this week's pick for Tabletop Takeout Tuesday. Thank you for joining us. I'm your buddy Big Johnny G, and I'll see you next time.